Hey there, in this video I'll walk you through the new guide map generators that we just added to the tool. Guide maps are textures that you can use to steer the composition of your materials. So instead of hoping that AI gives you what you want, you now have the controls to tell it exactly where you want it to go. And this is really handy for materials like bricks and planks and tiles, but also for a lot of other materials. And that's what I will show in this video, some examples of how you can use them. The idea behind these guide maps, and actually the idea behind the whole tool, is that the artist stays in control and that the tool shouldn't feel like a slot machine. So when you have something in your mind, then we give you the controls that you need to create that thing. And you can see in these examples how much they can do. And yeah, it's a really powerful and handy way to shape a material. So let's get started and go through the generators one by one. When you go to PBRgen.com and you open up the tool, I'll create a new material to show exactly how we use these guide maps. I'll choose to generate something and not upload something because these things work with generating something from scratch. Then you have all the inputs that you can use to generate your start texture. The main one is like the prompt, that's where you describe what you want. So you can say like brick, for example. It already gives you a prompt tip. You can lay out a pattern like this with a guide map, and that's exactly what we want to do. And that one is here. There are 3 options in there. You can use a preset, you can generate something, and this is where we did a big update. So we have a lot of generators in there, or you can upload an image. Well, to quickly show what it does, I'll just choose a brick and I'll create some start textures, also use a different model. And maybe I'll also say like damaged brick and then create another one. And maybe I'll also use input colors. And this is also like something that you can sample by dragging in an image or pasting an image in this section. I'll use the dice button for now to just create some random colors. Then you can see what that does, or you can say damaged painted brick and see what that does. And you can also change like the prompt style. You can also drag an image in there of a certain style that you want. The standard is realistic albedo, but you can also choose something that's more stylistic like pop art, and let's also create something with that. And then we have a few different textures, and then you can see what it does. So, well, you see with this guide map that it really lays out the bricks in the same way. There is still a seam, you can see it here. That will be removed in a later step in the process. So your materials are always 100% seamless. Another one, this is the brick with a different model with Nano Banana lights. You see that the seams are, they're almost not there anymore. That's what that model is really good at. This is damaged brick, and this is damaged brick with these input colors. And well, what did I do different here? Damaged painted brick I said with this one. Then you can get something like that. And here I used a different style. So this is like pop art style. And then you can get more stylistic results. And these things that you see, by the way, this is not a material. This is what we call the start texture. That's just your color map that we'll use to create all the PBR maps later, like displacement and normal and stuff, which are also completely tweakable. Yeah, so what we added is a lot of generators. I chose preset now, but you can also use a generator, and that's something like this. I'll reset this one. And you can choose it from the drop down here. The standard one is the rectangle one. You can use that to create bricks, but also like subway tiles or floor planks even, by just changing these sliders. So now it's bricks, but you have like all these things. You can change the gap, you can change the bevel, make it a little bit round. Sometimes nice for subway tiles or whatever ceramic tiles. You can change the row offset so that they're stacked like this. You can also change the shape, make them long. So that's all the controls that you have in here. And by the way, when a value is not on the standard value, then you can always click this one to reset it to the standard value. But yeah, you can also create floor planks with this by doing something like this and then changing the jitter a little bit. And then you can see that you have some nice floor planks. Yeah, so let's use this one for the rectangle to show what it does. I'll say like wood floor. And then you can also say later like oak wood floor, or like you can make your prompt a lot longer, use different input colors. I'll turn them off right now. Try a few different models. I still have the pop art style in there. So then you see that it creates these floor planks in a pop art style. It's actually pretty funny, but I wanted to create something realistic, so I'll set that back to realistic albedo. Oh, let's go back. Generate again. And then you see that you can get results like this. Or this, depending on the prompt you use and all the other inputs, of course. Let's go over some of the other guide map generators that we just added in our tool. Well, we started with the rectangle one. You can create bricks, planks, tiles, etc. with this one that we just did. And then there's like a triangle one that you can use to create, triangles. But there are also some other options in there, like you can do the rhombus, for example, or you can use this bevel / chamfer. If you hit that one, then you can get materials like this. This looks like a football. Oh yeah, and maybe that's also cool to show. This is like sort of hexagons that we also have a generator for. But if you would use this map and you want to get rid of that black and white distinction there, you can also convert it to a line drawing. And that looks like this then. And then you have like controls with how strong the lines will draw. And then you can create something like this. Well, just organic cellular pattern. Let's try it with that. Maybe some input colors. Maybe some. Let's do it with a watercolor painting. And then you can see how you can get different results with that pattern. And this is with the watercolor. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Other generators in there are the quilt, which also has a lot of different options. Yeah. The next one is the hexagon. I mean, this is just cool for if you want to create like, well, hexagonal tiles, of course, but you can also use it to create science fiction solar panels or whatever. Let me just try that. While that's generating, I'll go to the next one. Well, the checkerboard. It's not really a checkerboard right now, but you can make it with this. Yeah, remove that one. remove the gap, then you have a checkerboard. But yeah, you can do more things with this, make it diagonal. So stuff like that. The scallop, that's pretty cool. I mean, you can try to create snake skin of it or reptile skin or whatever. The basket weave, that's pretty cool for creating like fibers or like a cloth, stuff like that. I created a wool fabric with that at some point. So that's how you see how that really is very handy to create certain fabrics. And what else have we got in there? The herringbone. Yeah, this is nice if you want to create like these bricks for like street tiles or something. But you can also create like wooden floors with it. If you have, if you up the brick ratio, this is nice for floors. And yeah, for floors you make the gap very small. You can also, the preview resolution is 1K standard, by the way. That's just for speed. If you want to look at it at 2K, just press this button, and then space zooms it into 100%. But it will always send the 2K version to the prompt. And with T, by the way, you can always check the tiling. That's in every 2D view. So we have the herringbone in there, and then the pinwheel. Oh yeah, this is also something nice. I used to create, use this one to create this material. And then you can see that you really have like this nice structure on your material that's generated by the guide map. And it's completely tileable. Maybe it's cool to show how I did this material with the other inputs. So what I did is I created this prompt, but I created that of an image that I dragged in and maybe removed some words. I'm not sure yet, but like I didn't come up with this by myself. The colors were also sampled from another image or from the same image. So I didn't set this by hand. And then what I did is, I converted the guide map to a line drawing like that. So that's how I created this material. Yeah, and I think the last one that we didn't cover yet is the chevron. Let me reset all these things. So you can add vertical lines, and then you can create like a really nice floor with it, like a chevron floor. It's very hip right now, I think, or maybe it isn't anymore. It was a couple of years ago. Make the gap a little smaller. Oh, and by the way, you can also drag in these things, and you can also control drag in these things, so you have more precise control. Watching that at 2K, 100%. You can really see what it does. Reduce the slope, and then you have something like that. Let's create a wood floor with it. Somewhere in the presets. There's a walnut, herringbone, floor planks. Well, this isn't herringbone, so I should remove that, or just say chevron. And then you can get stuff like that. And this is still a 1K version, but also when you upres to higher resolution materials later, then the detail gets added again. So that's really the thing with a start texture. It's like a start of the generation process of all your maps. And this one was created with in 2K, so then you see that it has more detail. So yeah, that basically sums it up for the guide maps, and I hope it shows that that we really put a lot of effort into making the tool steerable to get you to where you want to go with your materials. If you have questions, please join our Discord. If something doesn't work, shout it there, or use the feedback buttons in the tool. Please use them, because there's a high chance that if you type some feedback in the tool, that it's incorporated in the tool next week, because it's really the thing that we listen to, and it's really the thing that we build our tool around, is like the feedback from users. Yeah, because we don't know what you guys want, so like, yeah, that's how we make this thing better. Thanks so much. Cheers.